Hey everybody, this is Corey's Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Nikon 17 to 55mm DX lens. I've had this lens for about 10 months, and when I went to buy it, I noticed it was quite a bit more expensive than any of the other lenses that I was looking at, so I had a hard time pulling the trigger as far as dedicating that much money. I've come to find out that it's my number one lens. I love it more than anything else that I've ever used. But when I was going to buy it, it was still hard to make that decision. And when I went to look at YouTube, there wasn't a whole lot of videos explaining why. So this is going to be a video explaining why I like this lens, and maybe it'll help you out making the same decision. Also, when I went to YouTube, there was just a couple other videos, a couple unboxing videos in case you can't get the box open. I guess that'll help you out. And there's a couple videos also explaining the weight, the measurements, a lot of the technical aspects. Well, this video isn't going to be anything like that. This is going to be like just my personal opinion of why I think it's such a great lens, and hopefully it'll help answer some questions you might have. Alright, so go ahead and this is the lens I'm talking about. So right off the get-go, you'll see that it's quite large. All right, so we're talking 17 to 55. So it's a wide to medium range zoom. A lot of DSLRs, especially the entry-level ones, are coming with the 18 to 55 kit lens. You're probably asking, what makes this lens so much better than that kit lens that you can actually pick up used for probably around 100, less than 100 bucks used? Well, because when Nikon first started hitting into digital, all their professional cameras were all crop sensor. So this is a DX lens made for crop sensor. So even the very good D2X, which even by today's standards is a very good camera, still had a crop sensor, and that's why they came out with this lens, which is a pro lens, to work on those. Well, now they've moved into full format and come out with a lot of other full format lenses that work very good too. However, there's still a lot of good crop sensor DSLRs that they're still making today. I personally use the D7000, which is more classified as an amateur camera, more like a serious amateur camera. And I've got excellent results with that camera and this lens so far. So let's talk about the build quality. Now, it's very big, as you can see, and it's also entirely made of metal. That's not plastic, that's all metal on the outside. So the entire length of it is made of metal. You got your zoom ring right here, and then you got your focus ring right here with nice rubber. When you take off the back cap, it's got a nice gasket on the back, keep air from going inside your camera. It's also always a good thing. And also, even though this is a zoom and it does extend a little bit, as you see it's at its shortest right now, and as you see when you go down to 17, that's about as much as it can extend. That's a good thing, because that's a lot less air that's coming in through the lens, could be pushing back in through your sensor. So that's always a plus. This is all weather sealed, so it'll resist against moisture if you're out in like a light rain, something like that. Now, I wouldn't recommend you testing that, but if you do ever get caught out in a windstorm, rainstorm, this will definitely protect against those kind of elements, and you should be alright as far as surviving it. On a kit lens or like one of their cheaper lenses, that's not the case. That could definitely ruin one of those lenses. So it comes with, back cap, front cap. It also comes with a very large hood, as you can see right here. It's actually got some metal clips on here. So when it clips into place, it's not just push-pull, it's actually on there. It's got a release right here, so you have to actually click it to come off. So when you have this on your waist, there's no way this hood's coming off. Personally, I don't use filters on my lenses. I always use my lens hoods for protection and for to keep stray light out. For me, it's the best way to protect my lens from beating into maybe like another person or a wall if I have it slinging around my waist. So that's a nice feature. And so yeah, it's a pro lens. It's a good looking lens as far as lenses go. It's got some weight to it because it's a pro, like I said, and very pleased with it. It's probably the sharpest lens I have, and all the zoom ranges. If I get my focus dead on, you cannot compare it to any other lens. It's by far my sharpest lens, and mix that with working in low light with the fast aperture, you really can't go wrong. And basically that's where it makes it worth jumping into this lens for those two reasons. I also like this lens because I've compared it with the Tamron 17 to 50. I used to have one of those. People like to compare, like saying you can go get the Tamron, it's a lot cheaper alternative, which it is, and I actually had it and it actually worked very well. It was pretty sharp, a lot sharper than my kit lens. It was a 2.8 as well. The build quality was the lowest class build quality I've ever seen in a lens. It's very plasticky, very cheap. I felt like if I even knocked it on the table, it could knock something out of alignment. Very unimpressed. Now as far as the image quality, it did okay. Unfortunately, in low light, I would notice that the Tamron was hunting a lot more for focus, whereas this one does a lot less. Also, in comparing the photos, you can see that this lens produces very contrasty, and the color is much more vibrant in the images. That can actually make a big, you can do a lot of that in post-processing, but that makes a big difference when you're going and taking your photography. The lens itself and the type of glass that you're using will actually make your images more contrasty, more sharp, and more colorful. And this lens does all that. So that's another reason that is definitely worth the jump. So lastly, that brings us to my final point about the price of this lens. Is it worth it? Well, if you look around on the internet, you'll notice that there is quite a large spectrum covering either a used or new lens. New, you could find it as much as $1,400 to $1,500. Now that is an incredible amount of money for this kind of lens when you could probably get away with cheaper alternatives. True. But if you know that you need it, then there really is no question at all. But that is still a lot to pay for a lens. Used on eBay, you can find them for about $700 to $800. But be careful. I actually got this same lens on eBay, but didn't have a very honest seller. When it came to me, it was very marked up. Now I tried it, and it actually worked very good because the glass was still in good shape, but she was selling it as in new condition, and it had marks all over it, and with the way this hood goes on, it actually couldn't wear off this paint, and this on the other lens, it was completely wore down. Well, that's fine, that'll happen, but she shouldn't have been selling it like that, so I actually ended up getting my money back on that because I wasn't very happy. If you want to get one of that quality, that would be fine, but as long as you're not paying a hefty dollar for it. Now this one right here, I got lucky because I kept looking through the Craigslist ads and one popped up. I was able to get this one, which is in excellent brand new condition, and the owner actually had it sent to Nikon after its first couple years and had it refocused, so it's tack sharp, and it was for $900. That's a very good deal that I found, but it's not unheard of that you can find deals like that. Now on like a normal lens like this going on eBay, about $1,000. So I could actually, if I wanted to sell it right now, I'd actually make money on this lens even though I've been using it for almost a year. Well, that's incredible. But it's definitely a lens that'll hold its value. So spending $1,000, I wouldn't even hesitate. Based on all those features alone, I definitely give this lens a big thumbs up, and you should go get it. If you have any questions about it, well, they'll all be answers once you get it, because it becomes a lot more clear how good this lens really is. So I hope that answers some questions. Those are some of the questions I was looking for when I was looking at this lens. Just know that it's the photographer that takes the images, not the lens, and this is just a tool. However, this is a very excellent tool. So if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down below, and I'll try to get back to them. Otherwise, you can contact me directly at coryreviews@gmail.com. That's it for this review, and we'll see you.